Carl here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. And it's album review time, and I'm very excited to talk to you about this one. It's Raised by Owls, formed in 2015 with 2 albums already under their belts, countless shows and festival appearances, and a pretty damn hefty social media following. Raised by Owls have grown into one of the UK's most beloved extreme metal bands. A love that is likely only to deepen with the release of their 3rd full-length album, Volume 3, The Satirical Verses, out on May 3rd, 2024. Now, let's get this out of the way at the start. Just because Raised by Owls like to have fun and don't take themselves seriously in the slightest doesn't mean they're a joke band. Or maybe it does. Who fucking cares, really? I'm not here to pass judgment on their comedic abilities as a band, even though I think they're a very funny bunch of dudes. But I'm here to talk about their music, specifically this new album, which I just happened to thoroughly enjoy. However, I'm just one voice in a sea of voices, and I wholeheartedly acknowledge that, like the band, this album isn't going to be for everyone. However, I do think you're being obtuse if you just dismiss it all, and certainly if you just dismiss it outright. As said in a recent video review of the song The Dark and Twisted Realm, in which Fred Durst resides, the litmus test for Raised by Owls is if you can still enjoy a song of theirs without a video. Can you put on a 40+ minute album and still come away loving this band? I was lost, adrift in a city of black and reaching out into the darkness. Well, we're off to the fucking races with comedy metal. It is a fucking embarrassment. And gnashing, wailing, and grinding blast of savagery with added stompy goodness, a dramatic outro, and an overall sharpness to it. The lyrics of this track are fabulous. I'm going to read them to you. It's all a fucking joke, it's all a joke, and no one's laughing but me. Maybe that's all that matters, and maybe that's the point. A lot of the lyrics on this album were very, very good, but I really got taken in by this song's ones. Then we get a frenzied and furiously heavy ode to the living dead and their ringleader Rob Zombie, which comes with the aptly titled Robert Zombie, followed by an absolute headbanger of a groovy death metal track in the form of Going for a Pint with Corpse Grinder. He really does have a hunky neck, before an unrelenting tribute to grind comes from the appropriately named Dance Like Barney Green Way. He looks like he's being chased by a swarm of invisible wasps. Not my words, but when I heard him I went, that's really fucking accurate. And I was like, oh great, Raised by Owls have just broke the experience of seeing Napalm Death live with that line. I am never not going to see that now. The extreme and legal fun continues with The Dark and Twisted Realm, in which Fred Durst resides. A beast of a track that goes stupidly fast and hard, features some blackened undercurrents that give it a true Gavolt feel, at least until the synth hits, and then the naysayers will be choking on their goat blood well and truly. Of course, Raised by Owls' tongues are firmly jammed in their cheeks. After all, this is about Fred Durst being an ancient and malevolent deity, but that doesn't mean you can't headbang and circle pit yourself into oblivion. After all, it is Raised by Owls, and they demand nothing less. One of the strongest tracks on the entire album then comes in the form of I'm Sorry I Wore a Dying Fetus t-shirt to your baby's gender reveal party. For sure to be a fan favourite for many years to come, as it just goes so hard and the chorus is fire. Also, story time. I once accidentally wore a Faith No More t-shirt with the word mother on the front and the word fucker on the back to a children's judo class, and promptly got booted out by an angry parent. I forgot I was wearing that, and over a decade later I still cringe, so I can relate. How about that? Raised by Owls have written a track that gets me, and in their own words, forgive me for I know not what I've done. If I would have realised, I wouldn't have come. Trust me, this was an honest mistake. I'm awfully sad to have spoiled the charade. Here's something though. Raised by Owls taking their tongue-in-cheek approach to a very serious subject, the serious subject of mental health. It's called Altars of Sadness, and it's a phenomenal track with a blackened post vibe, Gojira-like guitar moments, and even some effective melody. It is daringly anthemic and a straight fuck you to anyone that says this band can't offer more than just fast and heavy noise. Although it has plenty of that too, it is still Raised by Owls after all. Who needs reminding of that though? Not when you've got arsehole tightening and punk-infused efforts like Strictly Come Dancing, or gurning old school death metal efforts like I honestly thought OSDM was a sex thing. The latter of those two tracks has some of my favourite lyrics, and I can honestly say I laughed out loud hearing lines like OSDM don't mean to kink shame, but I'm not into that stuff. Although, in line with that, I really like the lyrics, blessed are the thick. That should probably go on a t-shirt at some point. Who wouldn't as well want a Live, Laugh, Lars poster on their wall too? Even though this track lyrically is less hero worship and more stalkery. Only vocalist Sam could deliver these lines with such intensity and believability. I'd say this album is his best work to date, but I'd also say it's the best work of the entire band, thanks to refinement and a willingness to explore other musical areas. Did you ever think a few years back that we'd get a track like None of This Will Matter in the End? An epic track that begins in melancholic fashion, wonderful melody, then transforms into something extremely meaty, but has this middle portion where the guitars just soar and drops back into the melody near the end, leading to a final minute that I think will put the stupidest smile in your face, even while the world burns around us. As the last line of this track goes, the last words spoken on this album, just enjoy the ride. The final words on this album, and I don't think it could be truer. If you can't find anything to enjoy within Volume 3, the Satirical Verses, I think you are the problem, not them. Give Raised by Owls the fucking flowers. They have more than earned them here. This is a phenomenal album, and I think it's well within a shout of being one of the best of the year. That's how much I fucking loved it. It is necessary listening, and it is out on May 3rd, 2024. Check it out. You know what you need to do. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.